Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Cameron Talks Football. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a general overview and reaction of the 2022-2023 NFL playoffs and what I believe the Super Bowl will look like next week, not this week. So February 12th, I believe it's at 4:30 p.m. and it's between the Eagles and Chiefs. But let's look at the games that did lead up to this point. So if you look right here, you're gonna see that these are the wild card games. Or I'm gonna show the wild card games right now. And the Seahawks lost to the 49ers 41-23. At the beginning of this game, the Seahawks were doing pretty good. They were winning actually 17-16, I believe, at halftime. And then after halftime, as you can see, the 49ers just completely started to blow them out with their defense and their offense. Brock Purdy put on an absolutely amazing game. He did this whole playoffs. Props to him, honestly, for being a rookie to be able to do this. That is really honestly impressive. And then next, the Chargers and the Jaguars. This was the most weirdest game you'll see because the Chargers had a 27-0 lead, and then going into halftime, they had a 27-7 lead. At that point, you should think, hey, this game should be over, right? Not with the Chargers. I guess they just didn't want to win this game at all. There are a bunch of bad plays that should have been executed by the Chargers. A bunch of outstanding plays by the Jaguars actually. When they scored that last touchdown they had, instead of going for one to possibly try and tie the game, they went for two. They got it. And then the Jaguars kicked that field goal to win the game. So that was really honestly impressive. This one right here, when looking at it between the Dolphins and the Bills, you were probably thinking that the Bills easily should have beat the Dolphins because they were starting Skylar Thompson. I think it was like his first or possibly second start in the NFL. So they easily should have blew them out. But the Dolphins actually were in this game almost pretty much the whole time until that final drive. For some reason, their coach just didn't want to call a timeout. He didn't have any, understandably, because they had really bad play call management and play clock management that whole game. So they had to delay a game, which brought it down to 4th and 6 instead of 4th and 1, which did result in them losing the game because the Bills player knocked away the ball. So that looking at that game, you're probably thinking that the Bills probably weren't going to win the next game. That was my honest reaction. I think was that the Bills were not going to win the next game, and if they did, it would have to be a full team effort because they did not play good at all. This game was an upset, and I called this game. I called the Giants to win this game. The Vikings, they just looked flat the whole time. Kirk Cousins, he didn't play bad. It was just they just couldn't keep up with the Giants really. It just took like one bad drive, and then the Giants started to take over. And as you can see, the Giants won, the Vikings lost, and it's pretty much just all it. That was a good game. This one was between Tyler Huntley and the Bengals. Tyler Huntley, he did a good game, but that final drive or one of the final drives where he did fumble on the 1 yard line, I don't know why he don't hand it off to J.K. Dobbins on the 1 yard line. He was doing great that entire game, and then they fumbled the ball. Sam Hubbard picks up the ball and just takes it all the way to the house for a touchdown, which did pretty much put the game away. But the Ravens also did have a final chance in that last drive to be able to tie the game because they wasted like 30 seconds on that final drive in one of the huddles. They just were standing there, didn't do a play at all, didn't call a timeout for some reason. They had two timeouts, I believe. They just didn't call the timeouts at all. No idea why. They just didn't want to call it. This one, this was just complete domination by the Cowboys. The Buccaneers just did not want to play this game at all. They were playing flat the whole time. No good offense, no good defense. The only plus side for the Buccaneers was that the Cowboys kicker was completely missing, and the only negative for the Cowboys was that their kicker just completely missed everything until that final PAT. So that is the wild card reaction. Next is the divisional, and as you can see here, The Jaguars actually almost did beat the Chiefs, but they did choke away the game at the end. So it was not smart play calling by the Chiefs. I mean by the Jaguars at all. So that is why the Jaguars lost, because Agnew fumbled on like the 1 yard line, which would have tied the game actually, I believe, for the Jaguars, but they just fumbled and they had a lot of costly mistakes and they just lost. Next was the Giants and Eagles. Everybody knew that the Giants were going to lose this game. The only people that probably thought we're going to win this game was going to be Giants fans, and I'm pretty sure most of them knew that they were going to lose this game. So nothing much to talk about, just a complete domination. The Giants just completely got manhandled that whole game. So there's really not that much to talk about there. Next one is the Bengals and the Bills. The Bengals, they just had every answer for the Bills that the Bills could have possibly had. The Bills look flat. They played great the entire regular season, and then when the postseason comes around, they just don't play good at all. I don't know what it is. They just don't play good. Their offense is bad. Their defense is bad. Everything is bad with their team in the playoffs. They just can't figure it out. And next year, they're probably going to be one of the Super Bowl favorites again, and the same thing's probably going to happen. And I'm going to keep going against the Bills until they can prove that they can win some games in the playoffs past the wild card round, because they cannot win in the divisional round or the championship game. So that is why I am choosing the Bills to lose pretty much next year again. This one right here, the Cowboys and the 49ers. I think everyone knew that the 49ers were going to win. I didn't think it would actually be this close. I thought it would actually be more of a bigger score margin that they would win by. But, stuff does happen that people do need to worry about. And it was just a really weird game all around. Bad game, honestly, for the Cowboys. They just did not want to play at all. Next is the conference championship. And as you can see, the 49ers just completely got dominated by the Eagles. Sorry about that. I had to let the dog out right there. But they completely got dominated by the Eagles. It was just complete domination. No way to put it. Even though Brock Purdy did get hurt, he did play a good game, I would say. Or not a good game, actually a good season. He didn't play a good game because he did get hurt. So that's why it wasn't a good game for him. But then you have the Chiefs and Bengals. This one, if you were watching this game as an NFL fan, which I was because my team didn't make the playoffs, which is okay. I'm not mad about that at all. But there were so many bad calls that they didn't call on the Chiefs. Like they got two chances at the third down. I understand they still did punt that ball, that drive, but they got like another 20 yards, which made the Bengals field longer that they had to go through to be able to try and put some points on the board. And then there's just a bunch of really weird calls that they didn't call on the Chiefs. But you can't say anything about it now, but it was really bad to watch that game. So now you have the Eagles and the Chiefs moving on. And next is the Super Bowl. And as you can see, the Eagles are favored. And I'm going to be taking the Eagles because they have the better O-line, they have the better running back, they have the better receiving core, they have the better D-line, the better corners, I would say better safeties. And I would say the things that the Chiefs do have is the coach, the quarterback, and the tight end. I think the Eagles are going to win their first Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni as their head coach and quarterback duo. I think Jalen Hurts will at least win 2 in his time playing. I don't think it's going to be more than that because all these other teams that are going to be coming up. But my final thing is the Eagles are going to win 31-28 against the Chiefs, and it's going to be a game-winning field goal and by Jake Elliott. And that's going to be the game. Eagles are going to be your Super Bowl champions next week, not this week, on February 12th at 3:30 p.m. So until then, I will see you guys later. Peace out.